Well, today's big adventure was being a mountain goat. My legs are going to hurt me tomorrow. Um, this is the down below pond and the garden on the side here that goes up a hill. And that's where I was weeding today. This was all covered in weeds. You could not see the hosta. There were so many weeds. And I've got a nice little fern growing there. I've got some wild buttercups, a red elderberry in the corner there. And then I've got the fruit trees here, pluots. There's an apple back there that just got unburied the other day, um, thanks to Sean Muller, um, or Mueller. I don't know how you pronounce your name, Sean. Um, anyway, um, and got a nice fig growing there. And that one the deers seem to leave alone for some reason. Probably because it looks like it's next to a structure. Um, so anyway, maybe we'll have figs on that next year that we can actually have. Then we've got a tree lavatera. We have another fig over here, which is smaller. But I did all the weeding in there. All those are plants now. And my rhubarb, I've got two things of rhubarb that are not doing very well because I've got some sort of ground animal that is digging. Either a mole or a vole or a rat or a possum. I don't know. But anyway, it's all weeded in this area. I also got up, I did my yearly blackberry massacre in this area. And I did it around the back side of the pond um, because I do not want them coming in there. The rest I can mow, but this was bend over, hand do it, because I've got plants in there and I can't get that close. My Spanish lavender is coming along beautifully. I wish I had bought about a dozen more of those and just stuck them in on the hill over here because they are doing fabulously here. Spanish lavender, Pacific Northwest. I've got two actually on the hill here. I've got one over here. And they don't look too terrific because I just watered the heck out of them, so they're kind of beaten down, but they'll pop back up. And it's looking good. A little worried about this rhodie. This is one of my transplants from last year. And something is digging at the root system. And so as many times as I have covered up the root system, something keeps digging stuff away from it. So I don't know why, but we'll see how it prospers. It looks a little wilted down, so I gave it a little extra water. The one in the back, I gave no water. Well, I gave a little, I suppose. But that one is in the low spot. It's very, very close to ground level water. Ground level water is not down that far. So everything back there is looking lush, very lush, because the water table is right there, about less than a foot down. And here you've got some red penstemons. And of course my hostas, which I love. Pan out a little bit here for you. Just a bunch of grasses and lungwort. Lungwort's the one with the spots on it, and that looks pretty. And then I've got some pond lilies in here. if you can see them floating. And then I have one cattail over here. And then over on the other side, those are irises that are in the water. They're Siberian iris. And my Kayla lilies are done blooming, so I just clipped off those. Next will be my hostas. They'll be blooming. Things that'll be coming up in bloom now are the hostas. My iberis is going out of bloom. But I've got a Jacob's ladder over here that's just blossoming up. I've got a lupin that is finishing up its bloom. And there's one yellow snapdragon over there that snuck in somehow, reseeded from the other side. So we're getting along there. Things are looking good. It's mostly green throughout the summer, but except for the yellow there, that's going to be the Jacob's ladder. And then my daylilies are just starting their bloom. So in the next week, it's going to be very pretty with the daylilies. And then yesterday I did the stills of my garden up there with all of the snapdragons in the different colors and everything. I also have a hydrangea in there. I've got forsythia that blooms in the very early spring. The hydrangea will bloom later on this summer, as well as the phlox. So I try and stagger the blooms for the birds and the bees. And then, of course, we've got the clover patch. And I always have a few insects, not very many bees, but a few tiny insects that love the clover. So I have a clover patch that I let bloom, and then my pathway, I pretty much just, oh, and I forgot to mention, I planted several years ago fuchsias. They're called upright fuchsias. And when I went to Ireland with my daughter, there was this old chapel, monastery type thing, and the whole walkway in there was loaded with upright fuchsias and bees that were buzzing. And they come back every year. And so I said to myself, I need that for my garden, because we are the North American Ireland in the Pacific Northwest. And so I bought some upright fuchsias, and I've stuck them in different places. I got all my weeding done except this one little patch behind the Spanish lavender, and I will do that tomorrow. Everything is 3/4 done, but if my leg holds out, as I said, you know, I have to be a mountain goat to do the weeding here. And that's a little bit difficult for me at 77, but I managed. I did 3/4 of it today, and I just have this little quarter right in this second. Well, it isn't even a little quarter, for crying out loud. It's just a little tiny patch. Anyway, that's what I've done today. That was my big adventure, other than watering all my potted plants. And I may put in, I bought some new lights for my fountain and in the back, because the other ones aren't working, and I think it's because the sensor is all scratched and corroded from years of being there. So I bought a brand new one, and if I can clean up the sensor to where it works, I might just put some down here so I can see the pond at night. But, oh, and the birds, the raccoon comes down and he swims. I mean, that's a given. He takes a bath at least once a week. He has killed off all of the, pretty much all of the water hyacinths that I purchased So I'll have to bring some from my fountain in the back because they're at least multiplying. But I noticed there were a lot more birds down here today. And I said, why is that? Well, I'm going to pan in here. What has happened is the raccoon managed to knock one of my logs that was covering up the cord to my filter and my pump, and he knocked that log in, and it is turned over, and it has made a little bathing area for the birds, and they are loving it. Of course, I'm talking and they're not here now, but they are absolutely loving it. So even though the water is red because it is a red alder, I'm leaving it. And goldfish don't seem to mind the red water. So there you have it. The raccoon did a little favor for the birds. He reconstructed things. Maybe I should call him Beaver. Anyway, that is it for down here. And I will let the birds go back to bathing and having a good day. And as I had one fly up right behind me. So I will see you later from Lynn Latchin Pond in Port Orchard, Washington. Bye now.